You're coming through very loud. Let me see if I can turn you down a bit.
Could just be my voice.
That's not it. How's your day?
Yeah, not too bad. Quite busy. Plugging away at the institute.
So you're in the fitness world.
Yeah, careers advisor at the Institute of Fitness.
Fantastic. Why don't we start there? How did you get into fitness?
Well, I've always been dancing since I was really young. And then I wanted to become a body jam instructor because that's like dancing on stage with people in front of you dancing. And then I went to the Institute to do my certificates and loved it, and decided that I wanted to do my Cert 4 as well to get into PT.
Why? Why was that something you loved?
To be honest, to get into my Cert 4 was just because I loved the people in the class that I was with. It was because I'd only enrolled in the Cert 3.
Yeah.
And the people were just amazing, and I was having the best experience. The coaches were so knowledgeable, and it was so much fun. And I finally found something that I really could sink my teeth into. So I thought, oh, I'd love to keep going. So yeah, I decided to continue with the Cert 4 as well.
What were you doing before the fitness stuff?
I'd just been working in retail.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd come out of a dance degree at uni, and as they say, arts degrees are quite fluffy degrees. You don't get a full-time job afterwards.
I didn't say that, Leah. I didn't say that.
There's all these articles around at the moment about arts degrees, but we do need the arts degrees because that's where we get all our culture from. So I'm really glad that I did that. And it allowed me to dance full-time for 3 years, which was amazing.
Nice.
But yeah, I got out of uni and was like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? And then got into retail and then thought, oh no, fitness as well. You can probably get a bit more full-time work with fitness. And it fitted quite nicely.
Got it. What sort of dancing were you doing?
So my background is jazz and hip hop, but at the university that I was at, we had to do everything. So ballet, contemporary, tap. So I had to learn to appreciate other forms of dancing, which can be, if you're a dancer from another form, it can be quite hard.
I bet. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't dance my way out of a wet paper bag, but I definitely respect what you guys can do. You look really young, Leah. Do you mind if I ask how old you are?
Well, thank you so much for saying so. I actually turned 31 in February this year.
True.
Yes.
Well, you do look good for 31, can I say?
Yay! Thank you. That's really exciting to me because I was having a conniption about it.
Oh, really? Why? What were you thinking?
Oh, well, just last year was my big 30 and that was massive. And I thought, okay, I can deal with that. But now I have to tick the box that says 31.
You're nearly at 40.
You're in that next box, right? Yeah, you're in the next bracket and it's scary. So I say 30 something now just to keep it on the safe side.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I'm only 23. So I'll let you know when I get...
Oh. Can we end the interview, please?
Okay, so you got into fitness. Now, was it to do like the body jam type stuff, or like you started to mention the PT stuff? Why was that of interest to you?
The PT stuff, because I saw there would be opportunities if I did have my Cert 4. Because when you do body jam, a lot of people obviously would come to see you regularly for classes and they get to trust you and you build that rapport with your members who come to the gym quite regularly. So I started teaching at different fitness firsts all around Sydney because I did my degree in Sydney. And I got really friendly with all the group fitness managers and it kind of made sure that I was getting myself out there. But I thought, if I get my Cert 4 as well, at least I'd have the other advantage. And then I started working at Curves Women's Gym, which was really good as a circuit coach. So it just gave me a little bit more leverage, really.
Cool. And are you still studying? Are you working now? What are you up to now?
I'm currently working as a careers advisor for the Australian Institute of Fitness.
Sorry, you said that.
I loved it so much. Went and stayed. But yeah, back in Perth, I moved from Sydney back to Perth. And I'll be leaving on the 31st of July. I've decided to leave that job and I'm going to move to Canada.
Wow. Wow, that's exciting. Why the big move?
Well, earlier this year, I went through an unexpected heartbreak thought me and my partner were going to be together forever, as you do. So after 3.5 years, just we weren't on the same page, and he's a bit younger than I, so he needed to go and do his own thing for a little bit. So it kind of put me on a different path, and I've always traveled whenever I've gone through something massive. I find it's just an amazing way for me to heal and to see that there's more out there and that there's not just a little bubble that I lived in here in Perth. So I decided I'd travel, but the coincidence was that I spoke to this company who sends you over there and help you with everything in terms of visa and recruitment. And she said, look, you've got 10 days until you turn 31. When you turn 31, you can't apply for your visa anymore. Wow. So I literally had to decide if I was going to go. And it was kind of like, it's now or you'll never do it. So I decided.
Why 31? Is it a particular, because of that number or because of a birthday or what?
It's the 31st. It's the same in Australia and a lot of other countries like UK, America. I'm not sure about Europe, but basically it's like when you turn 31, it kind of renders you unable to get a working holiday visa because maybe you're supposed to be settled down or something. Yeah.
So if you had already turned 31, you wouldn't be able to do this?
Nah. So you have to be 30 when you apply. And if you apply and your visa is in the application process and you turn 31 and it's granted, so long as it was applied for while you were 30, it's still okay.
Got it. Is that a Canada thing or is there more countries that do that?
There's a lot more countries.
Okay.
There's us, there's the UK. I think it's New Zealand as well.
Yeah, okay. It might be a lot of the Commonwealth countries.
It's almost like saying, oh, you're 31 now, so you shouldn't really be traveling. You're old. You need to settle down, have a family.
You might break a hip.
Don't come here and try to travel. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, cool. So do you have work lined up in Canada?
Not as yet. I'm going for the winter season. So the company that I am going through, Global Work and Travel, a little plug there for them. They're amazing though. They literally just help you with absolutely everything. So they'll start sending applications around August, September for the winter season jobs.
Okay. So what are you
hoping something in a ski resort,
Yeah.
Something like health club. Like I did have an interview for the health club at the Fairmont Chateau at Lake Louise, which is like an amazing 5-star resort. And she said that I could start, but she needed me from May, so this month. And I couldn't leave that early because I'm getting eye surgery.
Oh, okay. Losing the glasses.
Oh my God, I've had these since I was 6.
True. You won't know yourself. You'll feel 100 times different.
I'll be able to wake up and see. I wear contacts, but they scratch my eyes too much. They said they're damaging me, so I can't wear them anymore.
Yeah, okay. I know a few people that have done the surgery and they say it's the best thing they ever did.
Yeah, because you are restricted. Like I can't lie down with glasses. Every time I go to the gym or go pole dancing, it's a massive disadvantage because they fall off my face. It's just, you can't swim without, someone there like you're seeing eye person.
Okay. Cool. All right. So how long do you see yourself in Canada for?
The visa's for 2 years.
Ah.
So 2 years at least, I hope.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's a country I'd like to go to. I've been to the States and been east and west in the States, and I would like to. Everyone says Canada's amazing.
I'm hearing that there's a lot of Aussies over there. That's what I'm hearing.
It'll be like just being at home.
Exactly. Yeah. I just think it's appealing because it's so sporty as well.
Exactly.
So, yay.
So would you or can you get into fitness type work over there? I guess your qualifications would be all right in Canada. I've
contacted the governing body for the fitness industry in Canada, and we're very fortunate here in Australia. Fitness Australia, our body are affiliated with a lot of different countries around the world. So as long as I'm okay over here, I just swap my registration over there, which is great.
Okay. So single girl, early 30s, you're going to have a great time.
I hope so.
That's awesome. And
there's
nothing, exactly. There's nothing holding you here?
Nothing. I'm the white picket fence by a house, have a family person, which does, people do give me the look and the, are you sure you're going to change your mind? But I'm a go and travel as much as I can and live my life and see everything before it's too late person.
That's awesome. Good. And good for you to do it by yourself. That takes a lot of bravery. Do you get scared? Do you think to yourself, shit, what am I doing? Am I going to be all right?
I haven't yet. I mean, I do go, okay, just make sure you're careful, Leah. But I feel like I've grown up enough and I have enough life experience to feel comfortable in my own skin, and I'm quite an assertive person. I can take care of myself. So I don't feel like anyone's going to try and, win me over or anything like that.
Exactly.
But you still always have to have that element of being careful, but you can't walk around scared all the time.
I agree 100%. I think there's certain things, and you just know, right? You get a gut feeling of this isn't a good place to be or whatever. And
that's right.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, I used to live on Oxford Street in Sydney, so I think I'll be okay.
You've seen some stuff.
I've seen some really weird stuff.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen in Oxford Street?
I saw a guy being pulled down the street by his hair by another guy for like a good 20 odd meters from his ponytail. I don't know whether they were just being friends, because obviously Oxford Street is, it's the gay central of Sydney, which is fantastic because there's so much culture and so many fun, friendly people. But then there's also, it's very nearing to King's Cross, and a few of the surrounding suburbs are a little bit dodge. So, and you see a lot of the homeless and the drug addicts as well in that area, because you've got St. Vincent's, which is massive for people coming in for overdoses and things. So it's quite a dramatic area to live in.
Sure, I bet.
Yeah. But great for Mardi Gras.
There's pluses.
Right there, yeah.
A swings and roundabouts.
That's true. Very true.
Cool. I want to talk to you about something that's, I think, pretty interesting and intriguing and very unique, and that is what happened to you when you were just a little baby, and maybe a big sort of part of your journey over the next few years. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I was adopted at the age of 5 months. I have a tattoo. I don't know if you can see it. It says
chosen. Yeah.
And that's the date, 11th of the 8th, 86, that I was adopted.
You are a baby. You are young.
Yeah. So it was quite uncanny because my parents were missionaries in the Philippines at the time, and they had another couple that they knew who said, oh, we're actually adopting a little girl from this orphanage. And my parents had talked about adopting because they can't have children. And so they said, okay, well, we'll come along. And it was around the time where you could still adopt within, like you could just be already in the country and adopt. I mean, the laws are really strict now and it takes forever. So they went along, and my parents had wanted a little girl between birth and 5 months old, and the Millers, the other couple, had wanted a little girl between birth and 3 months old. So there was 3 of us babies that were in that age bracket. One was already promised to another family. I was 5 months old, and Joanna, the girl I was adopted with, she was 3 months old. So that's how we were sort of divided up, I guess.
Got it.
So yeah, the Millers took Joanna, and it's really special because Joanna and I still stay in touch to this day.
Oh, you're still friends?
Kudos to our parents. Yeah, because our parents are still friends. And for us, that's really special because we were in the orphanage together, and that's, we don't have any blood relatives. So to know that there was someone when you were that young that you were with for part of your life, and to still have them in your life is really special. So
let me jump in, right? So I don't want to brush over any of this. So your parents, they're Australian?
Yes, both Aussies. Yeah.
And they went over to the Philippines?
They were already in the Philippines.
In the Philippines, got it. And they had these other friends, the Millers, who said they wanted to adopt, and your adopted parents also wanted to had thought about adopting, so they went along. So you really owe the Millers a bit of gratitude, right?
And they're an amazing family. I mean, they went on, after adopting Joanna, they actually went on to have 3 more children of their own. Got it. Sometimes that happens, just nature takes over once someone's been adopted. But yeah, we still keep in touch with them, and I'm actually seeing one of their daughters in a couple of months when she gets over to Perth. So it's lovely that we have such a strong connection still.
Exactly. Now, what about this other baby that was promised to another family? Do you still...
I'm not in touch with that baby. She was already promised, and her parents were like, she'd gone through the paperwork and I think it was just ready to pretty much, she was waiting to get collected. So for Joanna and I, we had to go through, like my parents had to go through rigorous testings and interviews and police checks and all those bits and pieces. And then they couldn't get me for another couple of months.
Oh, true.
I think it was. Yeah.
So this is 30 years ago,
long
right?
Time. Yeah.
And
so even back then it was tough, but it's tougher now.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I bet. So what, and you were a little baby, so you probably wouldn't remember too much, but do you know what it was like, your surroundings when you were 6 months old?
Well, my parents tell us that, I mean, the orphanage was a small orphanage. It wasn't overrun with children, but there was a steady handful. And the women there, mum and dad said they were very nurturing. They always gave us cuddles, always sang to us because the Filipinos are quite musical nationalities. So they did say it was a really nice place. They didn't think it was like negative. They didn't think the babies were uncared for. So that's what I can gather from what I've asked my parents.
Yeah, okay, cool. When you, what's your friend's name, the baby that was adopted as well?
Oh, Joanna.
Joanna. I'll probably forget that again, by the way, but I'll hold on to it for now.
I remember.
Do you and Joanna talk about that experience?
We talk about trying to find our birth mothers because she would be interested. I think for her, she wasn't as keen at the start to find her birth mother, but now that she's married and that she's also getting a little bit older, she did say that she would like to try. So we've talked about doing that together because that would be quite special. We've talked about being, special, I guess, sisters to one another because we had that special bond of being there together. But we don't actually have any specific memories, so we can't really talk about that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I want to ask a question. Are you the only child?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
My parents, they tried to adopt another one, but then it was just after that period where you couldn't be inside the country, you had to be out, and all this stuff happened, and it took about 6 years of trying, and then after 6 years of trying, they just said, well, we'll just have the one.
Yeah, okay. When did you realise? When did you find out?
I have always known. People ask me that question a lot because I know in like movies and TV shows and sometimes books and things, it's quite a dramatic, oh my God, I was adopted, or there's like a moment where your parents sit you down and say you're adopted. But I cannot think of a time where I didn't know that I was adopted. And I think that's really in part to my parents because the way they used to tell me when I was little was they used to explain it like a story. So they used to say, once upon a time, there was a little girl, and obviously I was the little girl, and she had a mummy, but she couldn't look after her, and she wanted to give her the best life possible. So they used to tell me a story when I was younger, and I have just always known.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and I've heard of adoption stories where people have been told years down the track. It's a bit hard for us because I don't look anything like my family. So clearly I am adopted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have heard some horror stories about people just being told randomly out of hatred, you're adopted, but I've never had that, which I feel really blessed about.
Yeah, I think it's the way to sort of divulge that information is as the baby's growing up, so it's always there, right?
Yeah,
that's good. You touched on your mum there, your biological mother.
Yeah.
Why? Sorry, I'll start that again.
Yeah.
Did your parents tell you much about your mum, or did they know anything about it?
I have a photo of my birth mother. It's not with me at the moment because packed up all my stuff, so it's with my mum. But when I was old enough to understand, like looking at a photo, they've given me photos. There's a letter or a printout from the adoption agency with my birth certificate, with all my mum's details and a little bit about her and why she gave me up for adoption. So I've always had that as well. So I've always had a good idea of how it all came about, which is actually nice.
Why did she give you up for adoption?
So in the letter, it says that she's got 2 sons, which would be my half-brothers.
Yeah.
And then she also had another daughter with the same guy that was my father, who would be my full sister. And it said that she didn't want her fourth baby, which would be me, to grow up with the life and the hardships and troubles that her and her other 3 children have had to endure. So she feels that giving her up for adoption will be the best chance for her to have a normal life.
How does that make you feel?
I feel so grateful. I had an incident once in high school where a girlfriend said to me, "Oh, I just would be so have so much hatred to my mum if she did that." And and I'm not a mother, so I can't say, but I know my friends who have mothers and who are mothers, who they say you'll do anything to make sure that your kids are okay. And loving someone sometimes means doing what's best for them, even if it means that you will suffer. And I mean, I don't believe it would have been a decision that she would have made lightheartedly. I mean, how can you give away one of your children? But Philippines it's a third world nation. Children are sold into slavery age of sort of 3 onwards. Sex slavery as well is a massive trade in human trafficking. So when you live in a poor area in the Philippines and you live in the slums, if you don't die from disease or starvation, you may be sold or working in factories or something really young. So, I mean, ultimately, I look at my life and how fantastic it is and the love that I have. And I just think this is why I want to find her, because I just think if she knew what she did for me, she would realize that she made the right decision.
Yeah, 100%. And thanks for, being so honest and so real about that. That's great.
That's all right.
It really reminds me, and you and I organising this conversation, you mentioned the book and the movie that came out recently, Lion. You've seen the movie, have you?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have never cried like that much in a movie. And I'm a crier. You ask I cried when Dobby died in Harry Potter. Like that, I cry.
Okay.
I'm a crier. And that movie, I was just sobbing from start to finish.
Yeah. Did you feel like the boy?
I could
relate to that?
It's slightly different because he was with his family up until the age of 5. So he's got a lot of memories.
He had memories.
But I can relate to being different and having to adjust to a new culture and not looking the same as everybody else and not feeling that you're incomplete, because I don't feel incomplete. My parents have done a fantastic job. But knowing that you are different and that there is something out there and someone out there that does belong to you that you've not met. So I can understand the searching component that he would have felt.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. And then I can relate to the parents as well. Nicole Kidman did an amazing job. And I was thinking, that's what my mum and dad probably were thinking when they adopted me and when they were having struggles bringing me up. So.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So tell me about where your head's at now in regards to having a conversation with your mum. I'm assuming you've never met your biological mother before.
Never. No.
Right.
Never. So
is that by lack of trying? Is that for lack of trying, or?
I just haven't. I haven't put any steps in place to do it, because up until then, or up until last year, I felt like I might want to, but I know some people who are adopted who have like this massive, like they feel incomplete and they feel like they're not going to be able to rest until they know their biological family. I just don't feel that. I would love to find her, but if I didn't, it would be okay, because I've had a great life and my parents have done such a great job. But it would be nice to just have that little understanding of where I do come from. Sure.
What about your half brothers and your full sister? Is that, are they? Yeah. Do you want to meet those guys?
I'd love to meet them. In the little letter that I've got given, it says that one of my brothers went with the dad, who isn't my dad. So finding him would probably be quite difficult. I don't have their last name. I only have first names. And the other brother went to live with the grandmother. So I'm not exactly sure how I'd work that. I have the first and last name, though, of my full sister. So I've been searching on Facebook for that name and my mother's name. I
Wow.
pretty much emailed anyone with those names from the Philippines that I could find.
Yeah.
And I get responses, all of them. I'm sorry, it's not me, but, good luck on your searches.
Oh, wow.
We still have friends who are like family. I've got a goddaughter in the Philippines, and her family are trying to help me.
Yeah.
But it's different over there. It's not like they do censuses, and it's not like they have everyone accounted for. There's people that live in slums and they just have lots of children, and people don't even know that they're there. There's still tribes. So
Right.
and they don't have the systems that we would, I guess, have in place where it's quite easy to go into birth, deaths and marriages and try and find someone.
Got it. Okay.
So, yeah.
Just going back a step, and you said that you'd like to meet your mum and have that conversation and that relationship. What do you think that would mean to your mum, to your biological mum?
I'm not sure. I'm hoping it would give her some sort of peace. I mean, I can't say exactly what her intentions were, and I can't say exactly how she would be feeling, but from what the letter said, my gathering was that she did want what was best for me. So, I would hope that by showing her just how well I am over here and what an amazing life I have, and that I was loved as well, and that I was taken care of, that it would be a peace for her to know that she did make the right decision and she didn't do the wrong thing by letting me go.
Yeah, I bet. Tell me about this letter. What stands out in the letter for you to think that to be confident that you'll find your mum?
I've got her full name. I've got her birth date. I have the town where she was from, and just like a bit about her steps in terms of where she moved around the Philippines and what she sort of did for work and things. So that's more than what a lot of people have. Having birth dates is a big one, and having both like first and last names is also massive, and also the town where she comes from. So the biggest thing I'm thinking with finding her would be I need to go to the Philippines, and I need to be there for a period of time where I can be in the towns and speaking to, whether it's shire or council or courthouses or births and deaths or whatever they have over there, and also talking to people, because in Asian countries they do have a lot of family and people seem to live forever as well. So, and they remember, you go to the villages and people remember, like on Lion, he said, I used to live here, and this guy remembered that family. So I'm not saying that would happen, but it would be great if that was the situation, because she was the youngest of 10 children. So the family was quite large.
Exactly. When your adopted parents brought you back to Australia, maybe you don't know the answer to this question, but I'm interested. Why didn't they try to keep some sort of contact with the adoption organisation or someone like that?
I've contacted the orphanage, because I've always known which orphanage it was. But the orphanage, when you adopt, they say to the birth parents, like, if you want to leave some sort of forwarding address or anything like that, you're welcome to. But my mother at the time actually wasn't living anywhere. She approached the orphanage and said, I'm pregnant and I need to be fed correctly so that I can give birth to a healthy baby. So she obviously had quite a hard life. So there's no forwarding address or anything for her. We've already checked that. And with adoptions as well, they recommend when it's early to not obviously have those communications open, because that's the decision they've made to obviously adopt. So they'll kind of want that to be, that's your life there is finished, and then you are starting your new life with your new family. So, but my parents have always been open. Like if I asked for any information, they always got out all the papers and stuff, so I could always read them and sat and talk to me if I needed it.
Okay. Are they on board with this, with you trying to find your biological mother? Yeah.
Yeah, they're really supportive. They've always said that throughout. They've said, when you're ready, we'll support you, we'll help you, whatever you need.
Okay. And does Joanna have the same challenge?
It's the same orphanage, so she probably would have had the same sort of deal in terms of like communication. I haven't actually checked with her if she's contacted them directly in regards to finding any information about her biological mother. I think I've gone a few steps further than she has, because at the start I don't know if she was 100% on board like I was. So she's come around to the idea, like she did say that she would like to do it, but whether or not she's taken any steps forward as well.
Okay.
Because I don't think they'll give information to me if I ask for her. So
yeah, exactly. All right. So you're off to Canada for the next couple of years. When are you going to go and do this search for your mother? The mother search.
Well, the mother search. I'm trying to decide, because I've looked at different ways to look into it. And as I said, I've got people in the Philippines trying to help me, but I did contact a private investigation team in the Philippines.
Wow.
And I got a quote. I am not 100% sure. Like, I probably want to do some more research into them to make sure they're legit, but they did say they could help. And I got a quote for, I think it was $1,200 US that they would help me. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out what my best plan of attack would be, because I do believe that the best way is if I go over there
and spend some time.
And I'm there and I'm taking the time. Yeah. So I'm trying to work out what the best plan of attack is, because also I don't want to just go over there and not have like a plan. I don't want to be wandering around like a headless chick. Like, I want places that I know that I can go to ask, people that I know that would be able to help, not just sort of running around with with my head cut off trying to figure out where to go. So that's why I thought maybe a private investigator would be a good start, because they might be able to dig up some things and give me like a itinerary per se of places I could go. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know how people do it. It doesn't seem as easy as that Find My Family show.
Exactly.
Or Long Lost Family or something, because those shows are great, but they generally deal with adoption within the country that they're in, not like outside adoption.
Exactly. International.
Yeah.
Is there places in Oz that could lend some assistance? You know, is there different organisations that might be able to help?
I've emailed and reached out to different like adoption agencies, and I've joined like an adoption.com membership site where you can actually put all your details in about where you're adopted and see if you can get any hits. But yeah, from what I gather, the majority of them only deal with adoption where the records are here in the country that you're in. So like Australia, or a lot of the people in America have said they found their families, but they were adopted within America to Americans. So yeah, overseas adoption is very tricky, especially when you're dealing with a third world country as well.
Yeah, I bet. And yeah, like you say, your mum probably wouldn't be on Facebook or have access to regular, social media or computers or whatnot.
Especially if she's still living a life which is quite minimal and quite poverty stricken. It's hard to say what kind of lifestyle she would have, or whether she would have the ability to even be contactable as well.
How old would you say she would be?
Oh, she was born in 1962.
Okay, so 55.
Yeah, in her mid.
Okay, she's young. She's still young.
Yeah, so because that was my other thing, was if I leave it too late, then she might have passed. And 50 something is still young.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
So
lots of years. Okay. Let me play devil's advocate here. If you go over, spend some time, spend some money, and you get the private investigator, or you get these other organisations involved, and you go over and spend a great deal of time, and nothing comes of it, how will that be for you?
I'd feel disappointed, because you go in with the intention to, but you have to also be realistic. And I wouldn't feel bad if I spent time and money, because at least I'm someone that I believe you just have to try. You can't not try.
Sure.
It's better to have tried and failed than not to try at all.
100%.
So yeah, I'd be disappointed if we didn't find anything. But even then, I mean, it might even take 2 or 3 trips. It might not be something that you can do easily enough with one trip. You might be able to get some foundation and base work done in one trip, and then have to go back and keep investigating even further. But I'd be disappointed if I didn't find her. But I would also be realistic that it is a ginormous task.
It really is.
So yeah, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack when you're looking through the Asian countries. A lot of people in the Philippines.
How many? What's the population of the Philippines?
Oh, I've got no idea.
Yeah.
Too many.
Exactly.
Lots, and they don't all live in apartments and houses. A lot of them, like when we were living in the Philippines, we were living in the slum area because my parents were missionaries.
Yeah.
And we had the fancy house and it was just made out of wood. But I vividly remember going to different people's houses and they were living in like literally tin, 4 walls, tin.
Just a tin roof.
Yeah. So those people, I mean, how do you know if people are accounted for? When they die, their deaths don't get published in the local newspaper.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's quite an arduous task, but I still feel I want to give it a go.
Of course.
Before it's too late.
Exactly. And like you say, you're prepared for that journey too, right? Like it's not, you've definitely got patience for this task.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I've got 2 years in Canada and you can leave as well. So I thought if I get to Canada and I've got some more free time to actually start researching a bit more, then I can get a private investigator, see what they come up with. And if there's any actual good leads, sounds like a bit of a police thing, but if there's good leads and there's the chance to go over, then, I'd be willing to fly to the Philippines and investigate a little bit further.
Yeah, cool. You don't seem to be interested in finding your father. Is that a fair thing to say?
Not at this stage. Yeah, in the little excerpt that they gave me, it said that the father of this particular child, which was me, left the mother when she was 3 months pregnant. So I just feel a bit, I mean, it would be, I guess, nice to know exactly who you look like or, both people that contributed, but I feel more connected to my birth mother and what she did for me than to my birth father because, I mean, I don't know exactly the situations, but it just said that he left her and I just don't. That to me seems a bit cowardly to leave a woman when she's pregnant.
Sure.
Yeah, but again, I don't know the situation. I can't really say for sure, but yeah, my birth mother would be my priority. And my sister, my full sister.
Yeah, and it'd be great to have been a fly on the wall, right? When he did sort of leave that relationship. I'm sure there's a lot more to it than what got written on that infamous bit of paper.
They keep it quite diplomatic, very succinct.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Cool. It sounds like you've got a crazy, exciting few years ahead of you, Leah.
Oh, I hope so. It's not as easy as that TV show. That's what I was hoping for. Someone would knock on my door and be like, "We found them.
Here's the camera crew and $1 million bucks."
Do anything. Yeah. No, it's not like that at all. But you've got to put some hard yards in. So I've got to knuckle down and start. But the thing is, I just like, where do I start? That's the thing is, like you reach out to so many different places and they point you out to here and all that sort of thing. So you do that, but you don't really seem to get anywhere. And I put my profile up on that adoption page, but it's mainly like American adoptions. And so I kind of feel like I'm still treading water at the moment and I haven't actually been able to swim anywhere.
Yeah. And, you never know, like it's stuff like this too. It's getting out there. It's putting your story out there and your face out there. And who knows, somebody might watch this. Someone might watch this and go, I can give you a website or a person's phone number and
absolutely.
So you never know what will come of it.
It's funny because the Uber driver that I had a few weeks ago was Filipino and we were talking and he said, "Oh, you should reach out to the Filipino television stations because they love stories like that, that you're looking for your Filipino family and all that sort of stuff." So and I can't remember the names of the television stations because he was talking really fast, like Filipinos do, and he had an accent.
Yeah.
But I thought, okay, that could be something to look into.
Yeah, there you go.
So maybe do that.
Yeah.
Worth a shot, right?
Exactly. Why not? Let's start to wrap this up. But I'm really interested to know, aside from, your adoption story, and again, thanks so much for being so honest and open and real about it. What motivates you? What excites you?
Travel and dance. Honestly, I'm such a boring person. It's just travel.
Oh, that's not boring. That's awesome.
I don't know. It's my mum traveled the world when she was 21 by herself.
Wow.
For $3,000 as well, I might add.
What? How did she get around the flights and all that?
Back in 73.
Wow.
So perhaps that's where I got my joy for travel from. She's always encouraged me to go on adventures. I moved out of home when I was 17 and moved to Sydney. So yeah, travel is a massive thing for me. Like anything travel, my ears prick up and I just start getting like butterflies and my heart starts pounding and I just think, oh my God. So yeah, travel.
Hang on. So you were 17. Yeah, I got all that, but you sort of brushed over a pretty interesting point. So your parents have always been in WA?
Yes.
And at 17, you left home, flew to the other side of the country to live by yourself?
Yeah, and study at uni.
Wow, okay. So you'd finished up school and then...
Yeah.
Whereabouts did you study?
Wesley Institute, which is now called Excelsior.
Uh-huh. And you did your Bachelor of Arts there?
Yeah, Bachelor of Dance, yep.
Yeah, okay. Got it. Great. So where have you travelled?
Well, Sydney.
I've been to Sydney.
I've lived in New Zealand. I worked on a cruise ship as a trainer, so I've travelled all through the Mediterranean. So I've done Europe as well, so France, Italy, Turkey. That was pretty interesting. And then I've obviously done Asia as well, like the Philippines, but actually not Asia, which I wouldn't mind doing. No, I've been to Hong Kong. I do lie. I've been to Hong Kong. And UK, obviously been to the UK, London. So
all by yourself?
Some of them were with ex-partners backpacking, and when I went onto the cruise ship, that was by myself.
Yeah, how was that experience? Obviously on the cruise ship,
that was interesting. I think it would have been better if I hadn't have still been long distancing my partner at the time.
Okay, I won't ask any more about that.
That made it worse. But if I were to do that again, I would make sure that I was single and didn't have like any sort of heartstrings connected back home, because it makes you miss home more.
I see.
But aside from that, it was great. Good to meet lots of people. I'm visiting some of the people that I met on the cruise ship, like on my travels coming up. So and you see lots of places. So that was good.
You come across as a very bubbly, extrovert type of person. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes. Yeah. Big extrovert, very loud for a small person, I've been told. Talk way too much, have too much energy.
The perfect trainer.
Just always on the go.
The perfect trainer.
Even my boss. Oh, well, I try. Even my boss says to me, he's like, do you take stuff in the morning? I'm like, just my multivitamins and stuff. Like, because you have lots of energy.
You bounce.
So...
That's awesome. Lia, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and I really genuinely...
Thanks for having me.
No, it's been my pleasure. And thank you for being so honest with your story. It was great to hear it. I really do hope someone watches this and goes, you know what, I can maybe help Lia out. So do you want to just tell us your first and last name, and maybe they can look you up on Facebook if they do have some information for you? Yeah, so it's Lia, spelled Lia, like the end of Australia. Australia.
And Australia. And Ewing is my last name, spelled Ewing, like Patrick Ewing, the basketball player, but I don't think we're related at all.
I don't think so either. Lia, absolute pleasure. I'm sure I'll talk to you again soon. And all the best in Canada. Stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Ta-da.
Bye.
Bye.